Hello everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I know Katarina's just finishing up, so I'm expecting everybody to hop on any minute and we'll get started with this class. I'm really excited. Hey Angela, hey Leanne, and hoping that I can see comments today. You know how Facebook is, and sometimes it's a little glitchy, but hopefully we can get it all organized. So we're going to be making a Slimline card. And oh, there we are, Jenny. Hey, how are you? I can see comments. Yay. Hi, Dandy Creates. Lots of people hopping in. That's awesome. So we're going to get started. If you miss anything, you can come back and watch the replay. So we're going to move through pretty quick because I want to show you both the shaker and the tag. And if you have any questions that we miss, you can certainly message Scrap Shotz or message me, and we can help you out there. The kits are sold out, but we do have a lot of stuff in the shop, back in the shop. So if there's something you see, or you're wondering if we can get it in, then just check with us or check with scrapshotz.com, and we'll see what we can do. So we're going to make this beautiful Slimline shaker card. Slimlines are so popular right now, and then we've used the inside part to actually make a tag out of. And we just want to say a really big thank you to Studio Katya. She provided us at a discount with so much stuff, and we were able to really make sure that we chalk filled those kits. And as well, Emerald Creek, and they provided us with amazing products as well. We've got some beautiful embossing powders that you'll see, and charms. So we're going to get right into it. So if you did buy a kit, you received a instruction, a little bit of instructions saying that you could start out, and it wasn't imperative, so don't worry if you didn't do it. So we're going to do the tag first. So what the instructions told you that you could do was to take your Slimline die. These are 2 pieces, and you could cut out 1 piece of white paper, and then we've got 1 piece cut out and with the tag in the middle. And then you're going to use your own hole punch to punch that hole in the center. So if you started on that, and then you could use your Distress Oxide, use Speckled Egg or any kind of blue ink, and you're going to use that to go over. So I'm going to give you a little quick demo, but I'm not going to do the whole inking. And when you ink blend, you could either use a sponge, or this one is the Tailored Expressions brush, which is really great, those brushes. And there's a new Pink and Main one in the shop that I just saw, which I totally have to try out. So you can either cut this before you ink it or after, it doesn't matter. And what we would do if we were starting with the tag, you want to get the ink on your brush, and then you're going to start off of the page. This is on a glass mat, but if you just have like a Teflon mat, you can try that, or just a piece of paper. And when you start off, you don't get like a splotchy splotch. That die is really nice. Hey Denise, I know. Sorry I'm not responding to everyone's comments. I'm really trying to stay on time, but I will go back and read them after. So really you're just enjoy the blending. So this takes a while, but it's part of the process. Enjoy adding your color. It's going to soften up as you leave it, and you can see I colored this in. It's a nice soft blue. You could go over it again if you want it a little bit darker, but we're going to be adding elements onto that, so we don't need it really dark. I'm just going to wipe that off so we don't have ink all over the place. All right. right, so we're taking the inside. This is the inside oval. We are, splotchy splotch. We are going to do some effects on this, and we'll set the top aside for now. So if you've just inked it, it's going to be wet. We want to make sure it's dry because we're going to be adding some embossing powder on top, and the embossing powder will stick to the ink if it's wet. The kit won't be restocked, Debbie, but we do have certain elements in stock. So this is a powder bag, and we do have some Ranger ones in the shop, and you can just go over it. You would probably want to dry it with a heat gun if you had just inked it, because that ink stays wet a little bit longer. Oh, I didn't even know Vicky Booten had a brush, Tammy. So we've got our powder on there, and all the powder does is it creates an area, or creates like a non-static area. So the powder that we're going to be putting on, the embossing powder, will not stick to anything except where we use the Versamark ink. So we're going to take some Versamark ink. This is the stamp that Emerald Creek provided us so that we could give you guys a stamp, and it is adorable, this really cute snowflake. Once you start stamping it, you're going to see how beautiful it is. So we're just dipping this into our Versamark ink, and Versamark is a sticky ink that allows the embossing powder to stick to it. And then we have this beautiful embossing powder, which is turquoise sparkle. You have a sample in your kit, and I'm not sure if we have this kind in the shop. You can check, but there are lots of beautiful Emerald Creek embossing powders that are in the shop. Okay, so we're going to just keep adding. You can barely see it. I'm going to hold it up here in a second. I'm just adding to various areas. You're going to want to come off the page a little bit, or off the tag a little bit, so that you have a few areas. Now, if you can see that Versamark ink is going to leave just a faint stamped image. It's clear, so you're not going to see too much, but it's going to allow the embossing powder to stick. So then we just go ahead and pour your embossing powder over. Don't worry, because we're going to pour all the stuff that we don't use back in the bag. If you notice there's a few spots that you want to add a few more things on, like here, you can just add a few more and sprinkle that on. And there we go. This embossing powder is just so beautiful. It's really fine and detailed, and so you get a really beautiful look. So I'm going to pour this back in, because I know from experience that if I don't, I'm probably going to drop it on the floor. Embossing is magic, Virginia. Okay, we are going to bring that stamp and the embossing powder out again, so we're not going to put that too far away. I have a Wagner heat gun, and I know that Sandy has a new Wagner heat gun in the shop. Yes, Kimberly, it is pretty. The new one has 2 speeds, so it's going to be noisy for a minute. So you can see kind of as it starts to melt, it gets shiny. Right, and you can kind of tell once it turns shiny, but look at that sparkle that stays in there. It's so beautiful. Yeah, dual speed, isn't that crazy? And hello everyone, I can see your comments. It's so nice that you all came to stop in today. Now we're going to take this turquoise peach blaze polish. This is Creative Expressions product. It's fabulous. We actually have some videos on the Scrap Shotz page, how to use it. We're gonna do a couple ways to use this today. It is so fun. So what we're going to start out by doing is we're going to make a little bit of a water splattering technique. So I'm just putting a little bit out here. Yeah, I know. If you don't have something that's heat resistant, you do have to be careful. I do love the glass mat. So all I'm doing is spraying a little bit of water to make a shiny, shimmery paste. Now this is also a really nice way to do like night sky backgrounds, anything you want to add splatters to. So I've got some on my paintbrush. You could use a water brush. And then I'm just tapping. Might want a little bit extra water. You can add some more if you want. So then what I'm doing is adding these splatters. And Distress, Oxide, and ink react to splatter or to water as well. They're water reactive. So between the sparkle and the water, you're going to get a really nice effect. So there's our splatters. So shiny. And we're just going to let that dry for a second. We are going to be adding more splatters. We will have, let's see, you know what? I'm gonna add them right now because I have this out. So we're gonna set this aside. This is the frame piece. Yeah, I love that snowflake stamp as well. I can see using it for lots. So we're going to take the inked frame piece that we're going to use for the top of our card. And let's see here. We are going to add some splatters onto that just because it's all out. Then we don't have to keep getting out. So if you have this out, you can do this now. If you're just making the card, you can do it then. I'm just randomly adding these splatters. And I'll hold it up so you can see it. What did I splatter with? It was the Turquoise Peach Opal Blaze Polish. And these polishes look different on white and black. So you can see all the shimmery, beautiful effects that you get on that. There's several different colors. We're gonna set that aside and then do one more splattering effect while we have this out. So this is the second piece of the Slimline, the full rectangle that we didn't cut the oval out of. And we are going to add some splatters on this as well. So if you need a little bit more water, you can add it. If you need a little bit more paste. And just adding. Splattering is addictive. So you're going to want to splatter everything. You can splatter all your Christmas cards, your night skies, anywhere you want a little bit of shimmer. So even on the white, that's pretty. And then you're going to see how that blaze polish reacts. There we go. It's going to dry to a nice shimmer. And a little does go a long way because I only put a little bit on there. So then we can go ahead and wipe this off. And it just cleans up with water. So whether you have it on your paintbrush or even if you get it on your table, it just wipes with water. Okay, so now we're going to take we've got one of the holiday seals, stamped images, and we've just put that on a round circle die cut, and that's from one of the Stamping Village stamp sets from last year. And then we have this, just a scallop circle. So I mentioned that this blaze looks different whether you're putting it on white or dark. All the colors are super beautiful. So I've got just a little bit on my finger. I'm just rubbing it here so I don't have a clump of something. I'm not mixing this with water. And then I might actually put a tiny, tiny bit of water down just so it moves a little bit. And then get a little bit more. So I'm really not using a whole lot. Just almost creating a thick paste. And then you could paint this on if you didn't want to get your fingers messy, but I think that's part of the fun. And I'm just rubbing this over, and you can see how this polish, it's almost takes on that turquoise color on the black, and on the white you get the peach. So all of them do that. They have a different color that comes out when you're doing them, whether you're doing them on black or white. And just to kind of give you a little look, this is what it looks like on black. Like, it's just gorgeous. So then we've just created this beautiful stamped image that's now all sparkly. And again, I'm just gonna wipe this off, and I will probably be covered in sparkles by the end of this, but that's okay. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to grab our snowflake charm, and we're going to thread that onto the ribbon. So this is a piece of ribbon that was in your kit. It's almost like a little bit of an iridescent color. These charms from Emerald Creek are gorgeous. Like, they're like this molten silver. They're really beautiful. So I threaded it on, I'm sticking it through, and then just kind of twisting it through like you'd put a ribbon on and tightening that up. So the charm is down here. If you wanted to make sure it didn't fall off, you could put a little glue dot kind of on your ribbon, making sure it's going to stay. Let's try to zoom out a little bit here. So we've got our ribbon on, and then next we're going to do our piece of foil that we used with the duo gel. So if you bought the kit, you've got a piece of silver sparkle foil, which is gorgeous. And then we've got this piece that I hand gelled 66 times. And this was using one of the paper rose stencils, and those stencils are beautiful. There's so many of them. So this was one of the floral ones that had like a mesh pattern. I think it's floral mesh. So let me see here. What we're doing here, the thing about the duo gel, which is from Thermoweb, is that you don't need a laminator. If you have a laminator, then you could run this through like this. It's not sticky, it dries clear, and you're going to lay your foil on. So this is the dull side, and that's the shiny side. You want to lay the dull side down on the gel. And then what adheres this, if you don't have a laminator, you're welcome. You're going to put this on whatever manual die cutting machine you have, and I'm just running it through as if I was running through a die. So it's just simply using pressure to adhere that to all the parts that are gelled. So I'm just going to run it through, and I've got one extra piece of paper shim in there. If you felt like you wanted a little more pressure, you could add one other piece of cardstock. Depends on your machine. Okay, so I've just ran it back and forth a couple times to make sure it's fully pressed down. And then the fun part is the reveal here. So let's take that off. And the duo gel is pretty cool. You can do lots of cool things. And then you're gonna do the fun part, which is pulling it off. So cool. Love that silver. So now you've got this pretty ornament piece that's all foiled now. And we're going to just stick this in the center of our tag. So I've got a little bit of foam tape. Yeah, make sure the foil or the gel is really dry. Thanks, everybody. I even sometimes just leave it overnight. So I'm putting a little bit of foam tape here. And then I'm actually gluing this directly to my circle, my scallop circle. So I'm using this art glitter glue, which is in the shop now, I think, and it doesn't ship in the winter just because of issues with freezing. You don't want that glue to freeze. So if you want some shipped while it's still nice, now's the time to get it. It's wonderful. So this art glitter glue, it even comes in a large container, and then you can get this little metal top, which gives you a really fine detail. I'm glad, Kim. I was like, I wrote myself out notes and making sure I don't forget anything. So hopefully. Okay, so we're gonna stick this right on like that. So we've got foam tape under here and then under here. And then we can just go ahead and stick a few sequins on. We have this beautiful sample pack that Studio Katia did up for us, and it's a custom mix, so you can't actually buy this, but we were lucky enough to have her do up a bunch. These are the Studio Katia trays, and I know I've got some static on me because they're sticking to me a little bit. But I like to add sequins to other areas, not just in shakers. I think there's lots of ways we can use them. And this glue, I love using it. I have sequins and blaze already stuck all over me. So I hope you guys are having fun and that you're gonna have a great weekend. There's so many amazing classes. And we definitely miss seeing everybody at the carnival, but I think we actually get to see more people because we can see you virtually and more people can come. So I'm just adding a little dot, and then you can add as many sequins as you want. There's lots of different ones, and I love the little snowflakes that she added in there. The triangle trays are great, hey? And then you can pour it back in your bag easily. Okay, so we'll leave it at that, but you could definitely add more. So that's your beautiful tag, and I think this would make definitely a really nice addition to any gift. Ooh. You guys should share this, see if we can get to 400. All right, we're gonna get into the shaker card right now. All right, I think we're doing good for time. So we have splattered our opal blaze polish with water. We've already done that, and you can see how it's starting to dry and kind of reacting to that distress oxide that's on there. So that's done. Then we have this background that we had splattered on as well. You can see in the light, it's so pretty. Sometimes it's hard to catch on camera. So this is pretty dry, but because it was water, I'm gonna just give it a little shot because we're gonna add some embossing powder, and we don't want the embossing powder to stick to anything except our beautiful snowflakes. And before I lose this pin, which Lorraine always knows that I complain about, I'm going to put that in there. All right. Okay, then we're going to just give it a little rub with the powder bag. Again, I really like the powder bag. Okay, and then we're going to take our snowflake. We're going to go back in with our Versamark ink, that sticky ink, and just randomly put these snowflakes. They're just going to show through that oval opening. So we can stamp a few. I think I've got some off to the side, but we'll stamp a few and then see if we need to add some more. Oh yeah, it's so many more people can attend, and you're right. Like you can still be there even if you have kiddos home. My kids are doing their classes online, so they're in their class with warnings to not contact me until 11 in their rooms. All right, we added a few more. Add as many as you like, and then if you want to check your positioning to kind of see, you can kind of look like that, and I want one more right there. Oh yes, I definitely have to do something about that pin. And then Lorraine did send me some information, a lady who makes some beautiful beaded pins, so they're large, and the pin, you can stick your pin in still, but when you take it out you don't lose it. But yes, a pin cushion would even help. Okay, so we're just going to melt this. Okay, sorry that's so noisy. Okay, then we're going to add a little bit even more interest by just using our Distress Oxide, or if you have ink or whatever, blue ink. So just putting it on the glass mat, adding a little bit of water, and going back with our paintbrush to do a little bit more splatters. I love this blue, and if you haven't seen the gorgeous new ink that Tim Holtz came out with, the Crackling Campfire, you should check that out too. But Speckled Egg is pretty new, and this will soften as it dries too, so you don't need too much. So we're going to set that aside for a minute just to dry. Then we are going to put that on our card base as soon as it dries. Might have to actually use that heat gun, but before we do that, so I'm just going to kind of skip ahead and show you again using the Opal Blaze polish. You won't be sorry to order the glass mat for sure. I use it all the time. My kids even use it. So in your kit, you got 3 die cuts for each Merry and Christmas. You're going to take your white die cuts and glue those together. And this glue is really great for doing stuff like this. So I've glued mine together, but I'm just kind of show you. You're just going to glue them together, or if you have, what's that little machine with that makes it into the sticker maker, that would probably be good for this too. And then you're going to you can either glue your blue part on top, or you can do this step first. So we're going back with our Opal Blaze polish, and this stuff lasts a long time. So again, I'm just kind of dabbing it there because I just don't want a huge clump. And then you're going to start dabbing. So we'll do the Christmas because we've already done the Merry. So all I'm doing is dabbing it on, and because the blue is dark, you're getting this beautiful turquoisey effect that's going to really look nice with our snowflake card. And if you wanted to have a little bit more play, you can add a little bit of water in there. And that's just going to dry fairly quickly. And then you can just wipe that up. All right, so then we have our Merry. And because we have 3 layers of cardstock on there, you get almost this kind of dimensional effect with your sentiment. So it's not so flat. It's really cool. And look at the shine for that. Like, it's just beautiful. The shopping code again, Scrap Shotz, if you can put that in there. What size is the die cut? I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but this, if that's what you mean, is about 2 3/4. The Christmas and the Merry is about 1 3/4 inches. These are inches. Okay, so that part is done. We're gonna just dry this a tiny bit. And what we can also do is go over with this powder a little bit so that our sequins aren't staticky. So that helps as well. And we'll zoom back out so you can see that all. Okay, so this is the card base now that you got in your kit, and it's just sized, I don't remember the size right offhand right now, but it just fits the Slimline die, and different Slimlines have different dimensions. So I think what's easiest is if you have a Slimline die, then you just kind of put a little bit of a sticky note with the dimensions that you'd cut to either cut your Slimline or to cut your card. The gel on the ornament is called Duo Gel. It's called Deco Foil. I think it's Gel Duo. Okay, so we've got our card. We'll put it this way, just for now to get it all in the screen. This is our piece that we embossed and we cut out with our Studio Cadia Slimline die. And there are 2 different kinds of those Studio Cadia dies. Now, let me see here. We've got there we go. And I believe we have a few of each in the shop right now. So I'm gluing that directly down. Yeah, I'm all sparkly too. Yeah, there's lots of different brands of that embossing bag. They're very handy to have. So we're just pressing that down. Then this is where you'd go ahead and add your foam tape if you have foam tape to add on. I sometimes like just die cutting fun foam. So I just die cut fun foam the same way I did the frame. And I know that's going to fit on there. But if you're using just your foam tape, I have 2 pieces here, then I'd do 2 layers of foam tape around the edge, just being careful that it's not going to stick out further to show through your oval. So on the sides you might want to trim it down or use a thinner one. And then I use this again for my foam, just to glue it down. And I want my sequins just to stay in the center, so I'm adding the glue just around the edge. Paula, we can certainly get you a list if you want to message us. There we go. I'm just putting this down. So again, if you're using your foam tape, you're going to go ahead and add your foam tape around the edges. Yes, make sure to follow us on, we have Instagram, Scrap Shotz, and we have a Facebook page. And we also, I do live demos on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, before I take that off, what we're gonna do here is add in. So I added in probably about, here's the glue. It's the Art Glitter Glue. And then if you want the top, that's a separate, you just order it separately. It's the metal top that comes, it's Art Institute Glitter Glue, it's called. So I added probably about half a teaspoon of sequins, whatever you feel that you want. So however many you want. If you like lots of sequins, add more. And you're just going to keep those in the middle. So Scrap Shotz is based in Calgary. Let's see here what I'll do first. Okay. Yeah, so we have lives on Thursday, and be sure to follow us on our Facebook page. I'm just removing this score tape. This is just a thin tape that we're putting around the edge. And we have lots of videos of demos on our Facebook page in the video section. So this is your piece of acetate that you would have gotten in your kit, or you can just cut a piece of acetate. And I added score tape to both sides. Debbie, it's in the northwest of Calgary, and so you can, it's online. We're not a brick and mortar store, but we're online, and then you can actually do a local pickup and save shipping, but it's in the northwest. So what I've done is I've added some score tape around the center, and then I've added score tape around the edge. And I'm just laying on my piece of acetate. So this is going to trap my sequins in there. And my fingers, apparently. I don't want to like move it too much because then I know the sequins will go flying. All right. Score tape is very sticky. Yeah. I know, the more I touch it, it's hilarious. Okay. So we're laying that on there. We've just made a sandwich. I've managed to remove my fingers. Okay. When you layer on the two pieces, you get more ability for those sequins, or the two layers of foam, you get more ability for those sequins to move. Then we're going to pull off the score tape from the other side. I know, I'll be trapped in here. Christmas card land. All right, then we're going to take our frame and try to position it. I mean, I think that handmade doesn't have to be perfect. You're putting this effort into making something, enjoying it. If you make a mistake or you don't get something perfect, that's okay. So I'm laying that on. There's our frame. The size of the Slimline card, if anybody wants to know, this is 7, so about 8 3/4 long. And then we've got, you see here, Oh, we'll just do it this way. 3 3/4 wide. That's the dimensions of the full card. 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. And that's going to fit in a number 10 envelope, which is just a letter size envelope. Now we've got these beautiful snowflakes that I embossed with Silver Dollar Emerald Creek embossing powder. And these are Studio Cadia snowflakes, in case anybody wanted to know. Let's see here, what else? Making sure I didn't forget any of the steps. Yeah, so we're just gonna glue on our snowflakes. If you wanted to add a little bit of foam tape, you could, but I figured that it really had enough dimension with that and that we didn't need any more. So I'm going to just add a little bit of this glue. This glue sticks good or really well, whether it's to the acetate or the paper. So the snowflakes will stick fine for you. We're gonna stick the 3 of those down. I've got this one up here, and then this kind of middle size one. Lindsay, snowflakes are on the top. Oh, and embossed snowflakes are on the base. And if you didn't put them in, don't worry about it. You could also add some snowflakes to the frame, but I didn't, but you could. Then we're going to take our dimensional sentiment and any kind of die cuts that you have. This one is the Memory Box Merry Christmas. You can certainly layer them and get more dimension. Then we're just going to layer the Merry and the Christmas. Put them on the other slimline rectangle you cut out. That's right, but the other slimline rectangle is underneath this. Does that make sense, Lindsay? If I'm understanding you. So I did not emboss on the top layer, I embossed underneath. Thanks, everyone. So we've got our sentiment on, and then we can go back and grab a few sequins. And again, just embellish with a few little sequins on the top. You could add some to the center of your snowflakes. You've got some really cool ones in here. She's got some of these like crystals. Thanks, Jenny. You could add those to the center of your snowflakes. That would be pretty. And I love those. I love the snowflakes. So we can add a snowflake down here. And I'm getting sequins all over me now. But that's the fun of it, right? And hopefully your family doesn't mind glitter and sparkle. Thanks, everyone. And let's see. These ones are really cute as well. The little tiny gems are really cute. Oh yeah, you can fix it, and you know what? You're the only one who's going to know. And if you have the kit, you can die cut yourself another one and make something similar. And add that embossed snowflakes on the background. Okay. So there's our shaker card. So beautiful. The glass mat is the Tim Holtz glass mat. Scrap Shotz, I'm not sure if we have that in stock. So here it is. And then I just wanted to show you we have a couple more minutes before I let you go. That deco foil, we used the silver sparkle, and this is just a couple more that are in the shop, but there's tons in the shop. So this one, Spring Green, these are some of my favorites. So I just wanted to share them with you. This Amethyst watercolor, if you were doing like a purple or a traditional color Christmas card, would look beautiful. And a couple more here I thought were pretty. The Lapis watercolor, the Emerald watercolor. Maybe Scrap Shotz could link to the deco foils that are in the shop. The rainbow shattered glass, similar to the silver, but you get the rainbow colors. Anyway, there's a ton of them and they're beautiful. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, there's a couple more in the shop as well. We used the turquoise peach, but this one is the pink blueberry. And you can see they all look the same inside, but on the side you're kind of getting an idea of, well, I could have my own show, the Carla show. You're getting an idea of how they look. So let's take this on white. Silver shattered glass was in the kit. And the glue that I used is the Art Institute glitter glue. So this is a look of the pink blueberry on a white piece of cardstock. I'm going to hold that up. So you get this really pretty kind of effect, almost iridescent in the light. And then when you use it on black, it's like magic, honestly. You can go around the edges if you were doing a matting and doing the edges of your card. And the pink in this really shows up beautifully. So that's gorgeous. I know it isn't edible, but it sounds really good. You're right. And then the other one that I have here, I think there's another one or two in the shop. Gilded avocado. Oh, I'm glad that I explained it well. So make sure to join our, here we'll do the other side. Join our Scrap Shotz paper crafting group. We have a Facebook group where you can share all the things you're making and working on. So that's really pretty. Hey, you got almost like that green, gold, and then almost an opal color. Scrap Shotz is the store. So it's scrapshotz.com. This is on the black, which I think is gorgeous. Like it's that green gold effect and it's so beautiful. So I'll give you a little, just wanted to remind, I wanted to say a big thank you to Studio Katia and Kim from Emerald Creek for supplying us with the gorgeous products to help us give you this kit and bring this class to you. And just wanted to say thank you so much to Creative Scrapbooker Magazine to put this whole virtual carnival together. And I think it's going to be such a really fun weekend. I wanted to remind you about Scrap Shotz has a 10% off Tuesday, the first Tuesday of every month. And you can save 10% on most items in stock. We have a paper crafting Facebook group. We have an Instagram page and a Facebook page. And we do Facebook Lives every Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And we're going to be back on Saturday, so tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We've got a ton of samples to show you of adorable, beautiful cards that we've made with new products that are out. We're going to show you some new stuff that's in the store, so be sure to pop in tomorrow at 8:30 to see all those fun things. And you're going to see Rosie and Sandy. And I think that's it. Have a look at the shop, see what you see there, and have fun crafting this weekend. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing your craft time with me. And I hope you have a really, really great weekend. If you get a chance to do some of the makes, we'd love to see those in that Scrap Shotz paper crafting group too. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. Thanks for all your sweet comments. And Happy crafting. Bye.